Hello, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Has Above, So Below. This is definitely for Venus energy. And I want to say to each and every one of you guys, as you are being notified that Chief Apostle Ely is live, I am apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs, where we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. Yes, I am initiated in quite a few of the ATRs and the Black Arts, but on this particular platform, I do not teach my personal beliefs, neither do I teach my practices, but I try to answer as many questions to those that are actually trying to practice the magical arts. I want to put my glasses on so I can actually see you guys are you chiming in. What's up, Aries? Thank you so much for joining us. Now y'all know I'm big on astrology, Sagittarius, whether you're Gemini, whether you're Aquarius, whether you're Pisces. And so acknowledging these things are very, very, very important when it comes down to our energy, frequency, vibration. And I hope that melanated people start to honor. What's up, Gemini? What's up? Much of the opposite of Gemini is Sagittarius. The opposite of Virgo is Pisces. To each and every one of you guys, as we're chiming in, I want to say to each and every one of you guys, thank you so much for being a part of our melanated tribe and platform. To all of you that are subscribers, I think we're like 50 subscribers away from being 4,000. So if you guys want to check me out and what how I really get down, follow me on my YouTube page, Apostle Samuel Jr. I teach practical knowledge, wisdom, and understanding when it comes down to practicing magic. I'm 51 years of age. I'll be 52 in December coming, and I have been doing magic since I was a child. I'm talking about knee high to a duck's behind. I am a Sagittarius. My moon is in Aries, and my rising sign is Pisces. When it comes down to magical practices, I'm a pastor. I'm in the black church, and so therefore I deal with these issues when it comes down to melanated people. And I discuss these topics because a lot of times when it comes down to spell work, prayer work, conjure, ebos, depending on if you're in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, I'm also a Santero. I am Crown Mafedifun Oya, and I am also Crown Mafedifun Babaluaye. I'm also Scratch. I am a Tata Nkisi. I'm a child of Centea. So and I work with initiated in the black arts. And so one of the things that I try to do, especially because the church has demonized the African sciences like they have, guys, if you're chiming in, please tap that screen, because this is going to be something. And like I said, I'm going to preference this again. If you don't understand what a Sagittarius is, this might not be the live for you. If you don't understand what it means for you have your moon in Aries, this might not be the live for you. If you don't understand what it means to have a rising sign as a Pisces, in other words, I don't add chaser. I tell it like a TI is. And so I'm here in Lauderdale right now. I'm definitely interested. I have been doing various of conjures since I was a child, and I noticed that especially when you're in the black church, we learn the power of prayer. We learn how to utilize touching and agreeing. We learn how to call upon the dead. When I say the dead, it's because anytime we call and summon the name of Jesus Christ, he's the first among the dead. And so these concepts came out of Egyptology. To all of you do not know where Christianity got a lot of its beliefs out of, it came out of Kemet, which is Egyptology, and they were very heavy into necromancy and the veneration of the dead. And so therefore this is why we practice the ancestors when it comes down to hoodoo and obeah. Like I'm very big into obeah and hoodoo, but like I said, I practice the more deeper, darker arts myself. I've been doing it since I was a kid. To each and what's up, God Select? Thank you for joining us. What's up, my Cancer crab cakes in the house? And to each and every one of you guys. Now, I'm going to say these things, and my subject on today, because this is Venus energy and Venusian energy, which is ruled by, you would have to be a Libra or Libra placement, or maybe a Taurus or Taurus placement. So whether that, when I say placement, it could be your sun, your moon, or your rising sign, or those placement. Sagittarius people tell the truth. Hold on, baby. I've seen some tell the truth. Sag is short for a Sag. So it just, a lot of times I like to preference that, because a lot of times when people on social media, they come into lives, they're not considering that this person is not here to appease you. And one of the things that I say oftentimes as a black melanated man in these United States my gear is to address black issues, and so it doesn't mean that I in particular will not be able to help other issues that are in other cultures, but my first um loyalty lies to melanated people, and especially those are in the church. Now when I say in the church, you can be done left the church for probably 9 times 10 good reason, but you still got church influence. So these things that I talk about and discuss do matter. So my subject is on this evening on Friday, Venusian energy. Now, those that do not understand Venus energy, Venus represents the 5-pointed star, also the number of 5, which is in the church world we say the number of grace, but it represents the 5 senses. And it also represents the pentagram. And those that study astrology and astronomy knows that Venus follows the pattern of the pentagram. So these are not my beliefs. This is not my opinion. These are facts. And so I don't base my magic on my opinions or my experiences. I base them on universal laws. And so no matter what tradition I am engaged into, I still practice that. So I want to talk about, and I talk to melanated people because some of y'all, I know, on TikTok, y'all get it, y'all got a lot more power. On my YouTube page, you ain't got no power. You got to take it like that. What do you mean? It follows the path of the pentagram. Well, if you study astronomy, you would understand the path of Venus. When Venus is moving in the firmaments, it traces the pattern of a pentagram, the actual planet of Venus. This is anything. It's not top secret information. If you are interested in astronomy or astrology, it's easy to find and verify. I do not teach my opinions or neither my beliefs, but I teach is universal. Alafia, how you doing, Karen? Is that my Karen O'Brien? I look like it was my Karen O'Brien. So let me get to what I wanted to. I came on here originally to talk to you guys about, and my subject is Paula White. And once again, and I'm talking to melanated black pastors, apostles, pastors, teachers, evangelists, male and female. And when you this and why the ATRs are a closed practice, and I know y'all don't want to hear this. To some of y'all, we have to have things in these United States and around this globe that are ancestry and are concerning us. And every time that we get the audacity to bring caucasity in, it always bites us in the butt. Me and my eldest son was talking about this today, and he made a great point. And let me say, y'all, and this is melanated people because they know I'm not lying. Juanita Bynum and Prophetess Juanita Bynum and Prophetess Paula White were both up on the T.D. Jakes Ministries. Okay, and throughout Paula White's ministry, she has predominantly received impartations from black melanated men and women. And so therefore what is happening is now that Donald Trump is in running for office again, this is what I mean by closed practices, because every time we as a people let caucasity into our spaces and our places, they are going, and at some point or some juncture, they're going to return to their own and take whatever we have imparted, taught, empowered, and they're going to utilize it for the upbuilding of white supremacy. Now, at the end of the day, these are not my opinions; these are mere facts. And so, therefore, why did you? Sometimes others practitioners are more aggressive about teaching about these practices are closed, and some people are more open because they have not had certain experiences or they may be chasing a dollar. Okay, there's a variations of reasons why somebody would bring caucasity into our ATRs. Cartwright. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the correction. This is Cartwright. I know that's right. I still show some love. So I say these things because when people like me are chasing a dollar or popularity, we start pandering to the insecurities and the expulsion of Caucasian people, and then when you bring them into these ATRs, these are the very people that start now they may learn up on this. Just use myself as an example. You may learn up on the chief apostle Samuel Jr. just like TD Jakes, Paula White learned up on TD Jakes, right? Up on his ministry. But when she begins to attack other melanated people, are you, TD Jakes or Apostle Ely, going to stand up and reprimand her and teach these people to show homage and respect for melanated people when you're utilizing melanated or melanin energy in order to promote and prosper or heal what is going on in your life? I've seen so many people in so many traditions that they know that these sciences come from African diasporas. But yet, because of their culture, they will gatekeep in the sense of mistreating the very people that Mafedifun Oya represents, the Mafedifun Ogun, Mafedifun Obatala. All of these are Rishas, all of these Impungos, all of these are African deities, African spirits, ancestral spirits that come out of Africa. And I'm not here to tell nobody what to do. What I am saying to melanated people, we will put our foot on a Juanita Bynum. I'm going to say this again. We will put our foot, our ankle, and our knee on a black woman. I ain't here to defend nothing about Juanita Bynum. I'm just trying to tell you that Paula White is going unchecked by the black church, while she is actively supporting white supremacy. When it comes to one of us, we as a black church, we are so hard, and we will go to in prayer, we will speak words, we will do conjure, we will do whatever we need to do to bring that black man or woman down, as we say, humble them, so they don't forget where they come from. So I'm asking you in this election and what is going on, why don't you feel the same passion when you felt about Juanita Bynum doing a prayer breakfast, and she was doing it for $1,000 to teach, and everybody had and I'm talking about root workers, conjurers, mystics, agitators. Everybody was making videos. It was to make mockery of the church. It was to make mockery of her as a prophetess. But this white woman, Paula White, Paula. First of all, she got up in here talking about she gonna call on the spirits of Africa. The spirits of Africa to defend Donald Trump. And Donald Trump don't care for black people. But because you have set up on the black, and there were black members in there parading and praising their God, spirit, whatever they doing in that church. Okay? Paula White, every chance she get, she come from trailer trash. Okay, this ain't my opinion. But what I am saying is, when it comes to the black church, these are, and like I said, you hear me use adjectives, I'm gonna say adjectives. I don't have to lie on nobody. She'll testify, Paula White testified that she come from trailer trash. Okay, so this ain't just Apostle Ely being out here being mean and just condescending. What I want you to understand, if you are allied to melanated people or black people, then you must admit and understand why our practices are necessary to be closed. Because when you decide today or tomorrow in your Christian faith or your belief system to go back to Caucasity Mountain and declare on top of the Caucasity Mountain that your whiteness is superior, while you yet stand with the impartations that have come from black preachers and black pastors, prophets, apostles. But I say to the black church, I say to the black conjurers, I say to the people that believe in melanated generated power, why is it okay for us to ramshack Juanita Bynum, clearly a black woman, clearly grew up in the church? You don't have a problem with Ken Cole making money, you ain't got a problem with Rob Parsley making money, you ain't got a problem with Joyce Myers making money. It just is something about our people that we could swallow. I mean, some of y'all, the TD say, have you ever been swallowed? We can swallow all of that. We can swallow them making money off of melanated people, revivals, conferences. We cool with all that. But when we see our own black brothers and sisters out here, and I'm talking to my conjurers, even though you don't go to church and you do your root work and you do your spell work, but you talk about the church just like everybody else do, okay? And I am saying to you, when have you used your conjure? When have you used it to humble? Because if it was me out here doing what Paula White was doing for white people, the black community would have a problem with what I'm saying, what I was doing, and rightfully so. Let me say that again, and rightfully so. Because I understand the plight of the black man and the black woman in these United States. You understand? People gonna do what they want to. I've already voted for Kamala Harris and Waltz. So I did that today. I want to address, that's why our lives should be tapping. I don't think spiritual energy should be free, but shouldn't be exploited too. I agree with you, but this is the thing. Depending on who the individual is, and us being raised in the black church, we have to admit that black people, because of the teaching and the dogma that they receive, they look for something for nothing. Okay? In order for bills to be paid, in order for, that's why you don't see libraries in the average black church. This is why you don't see recreational centers attached to the average black church, because we don't believe in giving like that. You see what I'm saying? That's why the most you may see at a black church is a daycare center. Like, just being honest. But it still doesn't change the fact. What did Paula White, wait a minute, what did Paula White do or say? The point is, Paula White out here laying hands on Donald Trump, trying to get him a victory. But her impartations and her training and her teaching and preaching came from the black church. It would be no different if Shambach was out here doing it. Shambach came up in the black church, the black era. Our melanin has empowered the name of Jesus. This is why the name of Jesus has any ache, any chi, any prana in it. Black people are the building block. Well, let me correct this. Black women are the gods of the universe. They are the creators of the universe. Black men are the kings and the gods of this universe, and we direct that energy. Okay? That's why we use the symbolization of the Ankh. Let's get that straight. We are the beginning of civilization. It is a known fact. It is not my opinion. It is what it is. Now, let me say this to you, sir and ma'am. What I am utilizing Paula White at this particular juncture is that I've noticed over a period of time when Juanita Bynum was doing what she was doing, we as a black church, as a black community, even the ones that do not go to church anymore, but use the Bible and conjure and mysticism, had a lot to say about what Juanita was binding. But we are quiet. And if we are saying anything, we're saying very little about this woman utilizing what she has learned. That is no different than Cat Ironwood. Any person that you have brought a Caucasian in to our closed practices, and then you have taught them our craft, and then they're out here disrespecting other black men and women in the same practice because of what they've been taught. It is a total disregard. I don't care if you Latino. I don't care if you Venezuela. If all of the traditional base of life started with the civilization of African people, then anything that you have acquired, anything that you have utilized, I don't care if you have changed the name of it, I don't care if you have taken the science and utilized it very differently, but the basis of your tradition and your ATR and your ability to conjure, the veneration of the dead starts with black people. So if you're Latin, Brazilian, whatever, you're venerating your ancestors, or you're Mexican and you're going out on the Day of the Dead, because the Day of the Dead is coming up in November the 2nd. Those are black practices. But black people have been taught against these practices, that we don't venerate our ancestors. Like, make it make sense. And so therefore, how you gonna practice real magic and real spell work and real conjure work when we see our own brothers and sisters rising up or utilizing whatever? Because you don't know why people doing what they doing. You don't know why. Because Juanita Bynum is a Capricorn. Capricorn all about the money. Okay? So if we understand her energy, her frequency and vibration, that's why she come across the way that she comes. Because at the end of the day, she might be a prophetess, but she's a Capricorn. She might be a seer, but she's a Capricorn. She might be an intercessor, but she's a Capricorn. She may be the voice of the divine, but she's still a Capricorn. And Capricorn energy dominates, which is Saturn. And Saturn is the taskmaster. That's why she acts and functions like she do. No matter what kind of church she go to, no matter what kind of prayer ground meeting she make. But my point is, and it will not change, melanated people, my brothers and sisters, that Paula White is out here walking with her 9-inch heels, her flat booty, and her caucasity, with her chest full of audacity. Knowing that she got black members, knowing that she came up on a black pastor, which is televisionized, T.D. Jakes, as her spiritual father. He even reprimanded her one time in the open. And she's still at it, because at the end of the day, she's choosing her whiteness over Christianity, over her beliefs, over the respect of melanated people that have been there and supported her. But then when Juanita Bynum was going to church, ostracized and criticized and then demonized. We as a melanated people, I'm going to say this again. It don't matter if it's Juanita Bynum, whatever. We did it with Eddie Long. We do it with any preacher, pastor, everybody else. They got white pastors out there, got pool boys for boyfriends, and the church paying for him to get either get raw dogged or vice versa. And nobody ain't saying nothing. And they still holding their position. They still got their church. Well, when black people go through, I ain't talking about nobody else. We have no problem of bringing them down and holding them down. But we do not have those same standards, that same vitriol when it comes to other races that are participating in African tradition, African sciences, and African powers. Okay? That's what this is about. That we wake up and say, you know what? Why do we got different strokes for different folk? Why am I harder on my people than, and then the fact that you're not speaking out against it. But right now, you would do root work on a black woman. You would go to the cemetery on a black man. You would burn a candle. You would light incense. You would read your book of Psalms. You would use your obeah stick, your egun stick. When it comes to black people, you have no problem utilizing your conjure, whatever state it is. Don't mean that you even powerful. If it's nothing but a prophetic word or speaking a word, you would do that when it comes to melanated people. But thank you so much for that. I love that. But when it comes down to our other people, you quiet. What's up there? What's up, Shamari? Thank you for the heart. If you were listening, you would know what I was talking about. Somebody said, who is this? I got 15,000 followers. You ask me who I am. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. My humble opinion. And this is my humble opinion when it comes to P. Diddy. And I don't care who like. I come from a family that got money. I come from a family that got money, real property, all of that. So I came up, I understand that lifestyle. They didn't have the type of money that P. Diddy them had or Jay-Z them had, but they had money. So I come up with that. Let me explain something to y'all. Ain't nobody being forced to go to those parties. My family member were throwing cocaine parties and all of that, and people coming over there. They actually had to be told to leave. They done had enough. They were partying so hard and enjoying themselves so much. They to make sure nobody overdid. I come up with that because I want to be very honest and transparent with you. And so black people, when they not from those lifestyles, they always have a problem with people of their own uh, pigmentation that got money and resource. Thank you so much, baby, for the candles. And that's just the real talk. I had to learn that the hard way. Black people despise other black people that have resources. It doesn't matter how they got it. It doesn't matter if they got it through Wall Street. Don't matter if they got it through the streets. Don't matter if they got it through Congress. Don't matter if they got it through the church. Black people like to see other black people in certain positions fall. But every other race doing that same thing, if not more, and you ain't got nothing to say. I want somebody to tell me I'm lying. Somebody tell me I'm lying. Everything you can accuse any black man or woman of, there's how many the Caucasian or other races doing that and some. But you let media highlight what we do, and you fall for it each and every time. Why does Kamala Harris have to defend her blackness? I thought that was a genetic thing. Since when, as a melanated man or woman, that we have to defend our ancestry? But we make our own people do that. Now, I'm not talking about other races. I'm talking about what we do. And what I'm saying is, if we're going to be restored, whether it's hoodoo or voodoo or Santeria or Lakumi or Paula, if we're going to be restored as kings and queens of this earth, we must also find a self-love for ourselves and stop going around every chance we get trying to find something wrong or something negative. Let me give you a news flash. I'm a pastor. My church has been in existence since 2001 in the month of August. There is no perfect or flawless preacher, teacher, conjurer, mystic, adjay. They do not exist. They may be skilled, they may be proficient at their craft, but they are far beyond without spot or wrinkle. We have to stop that foolishness and having unrealistic expectations on people. If you can love your mama unconditionally, know she ain't perfect, and love your dad unconditionally, know he ain't perfect, then you can love the spiritual men and women out there in their imperfection. Because one thing I ain't gonna let nobody do, put me on a pedestal that I could never sit, squat, or prop myself on. Because today I live in flesh, and I'm gonna get me some of that good old flesh. And this ain't about not being respectable. This is not about not carrying yourself in a certain way. This is just literally saying how we sit here and we want these people to be all of this. Me and my son was talking about it. Why are we requiring so much out of Kamala Harris, but we were not requiring that out of that white man? That's like a black person, a supervisor on your job. You would expect way more out of them than you do them other white supervisors or them Latin supervisors. You don't even bring it up. You talk about them behind their back, but you don't bring it up but when it comes to one of us, we expect so much out of we want people to get fired. We want people to get reprimanded, lose their job, lose their career, trying to prove we down for the culture. No, I'm down for the cause, for the culture. Because a lot of people in the culture is full of crap. They full of foolishness. And they ain't really, they're trying to get what they can get. And all I'm just saying, I'm still waiting on all my root workers. I'm waiting on my conjurers, my Obia worker, my voodoo assaults, my Hugans, my Bokors. I'm waiting on somebody other than myself to put this white woman in check when it comes to white supremacy. We in the church world. We are elders. We're leaders. Stop leaving it to the congregation. Why aren't you speaking out? Why aren't you praying? Just like if you were praying about Juanita Bynum. Have that same vitriol. Have that same passion. And let me tell y'all something. Don't turn your back on the black church. Because none of these ATRs can accommodate you fully. The church is the only institution that deals with the masses. Everybody else, every other tradition is an individual. That's why you can practice voodoo and be a Catholic. You can practice hoodoo and be a Catholic. because those are personal journeys and paths of an individual. But the masses are contained through the church, which is ruled by Sagittarius. Everything exists for a reason, y'all. Ain't none of us have to be perfect to do what God or Divine Mother has called us to do. But my point is, if we're gonna have self-love, and I mean self-love as in self-identity, then we as a people got to stop hating on other people that are climbing this ladder of success and waiting for the day, the hour, the minute, the second for them to fall. And instead of being an embracement, now I don't know all the allegations. I'm not keeping up with it like that, and I'm not concerned about it. But I am concerned about the way that we handle our loved ones, how we handle our people. Because if it's okay for us to mistreat and dog one another, then don't complain when somebody else do it. If you're going to call your sister out her name, then don't complain when her husband or her boyfriend do it. The reason I can step to somebody about my sister, because I don't call my sister out her name. My sister's on my daddy's side and my sister that on my mother's side. I don't talk to her like that. I don't talk to my nieces like that. I don't talk to my nephews like that. So therefore, it's more easy for me to defend a point or a standard that I don't participate in. But as black people, we do some crunchy, some filthy, and some dirty stuff to one another. And then when it is done to us by other races, all of a sudden we can't take it. We can't take it. Oh my God, I can't believe these you know what we say. We on TikTok. When I get on my YouTube channel, and then I'll tell you. But you know what we be saying. I can't believe these. It starts with, it's a cookie. These saltine, yeah, fill in the blank. You went to school, fill in the blank. But Paula, and you may never see this, and you might do. Stop taking our stuff and trying to prop up white supremacy. If you wanted to be white, you should have stayed in your trailer and left black people alone. And you will not be having these issues today. If you don't respect where you come from and who really propped you up, that's why President Joe Biden, he knows it was South Carolina that gave him the gas and gave him the juice. Okay? He became the president of the United States because of black people. See, when you understand, it don't matter. If we support you, and let me tell you something, what that white man did. That white man not only kept his word about putting black women on the federal bench, he kept his word about the things that he was going to do for black people, period. And let me tell you what he also did. Because you can be a true white, you can be a racist and an ally at the same time. Because I do believe Joe Biden's too old not to be racist. But he's not the type of racist that these other people is. Okay? So let me say it like this. Kamala Harris could not be where she at right now in this facet of the race if it wasn't for the absolute support of the president of these United States. When I tell you he set her up for the win, you can't take that, because if you really about the culture and you really about the United States and being a melting pot, then you should be celebrating a mixed woman, black woman nonetheless, but a mixed woman of culture that will be sitting as Madam President. And whether you in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, if you are Latin, Puerto Rican, if you doing magic, and to all of my Cuban brothers out here and all my Cuban sisters that think y'all white, I'm going to say it again, in Paula, Marco Rubio in Florida, y'all are part of the problem. Because if these white people have their way, they're going to let you know you're not white. You're not white. Cubans are not white. Italians are not white. They're not white. We got black people that can pass for white and not be white. Just your straight hair don't make you white. Your DNA Your genetics make you white. Having different color eyes don't mean nothing in the black culture, because you don't know the real truth that a black woman carries the Eve gene, and she can create any type of genetics on planet Earth. Blonde hair, blue eyes, she can birth all of that and still be black. You understand? That's science, baby. That ain't my opinion. You understand? That's not dye. That's not process. That's none of that. That's just genetics. The black woman is the only creature on planet Earth that can produce any species of person. No other woman can do that. The black man is the only creature on planet Earth that can be intimate with any race of woman and create a black baby. No other creature can do that. Because if a Latino man has sex with a black woman, that child becomes black. But if a black man has a sex with a Latino woman, that child is black. Those are not my opinions, baby. And that's all this is about, the fragility of white men. And I'd be glad when black people catch on. When I say fragility, these are the only race of people that can have so much, and no matter how much they got, they always got to put their foot on somebody. They doing all of this to hinder us from being what we were naturally meant to be. Great. Nobody erases your history if they ain't threatened by you. Nobody takes your name, your language, if they ain't threatened by you. Nobody goes out their way to create a whole system that would disadvantage you. Nobody does that. Nobody passes laws that proportionally affects you in a negative way unless they understand something. The more somebody fights against you, the more you should understand they know why they're fighting against you. You need to figure out why they're fighting against you. They know why they're fighting against you. And I am tired of melanated people, in particular, utilizing our conjure, our magic on one another. But when it comes to these other people, you ain't got a candle for them. You ain't got a prayer, a song. You ain't got a spoken word. You ain't heard nothing from Obatala. You ain't heard nothing from Orumila. You ain't heard nothing from Iligba. You ain't heard nothing from Ezali. Like, when it comes to other races, especially blacks, are you always hearing from heaven? You always hearing from the spirit. So what the spirit telling you about Paula White? How the spirits feel about what she doing? We waiting. I want to see all over social media, because if this was Juanita Bynum, y'all would plaster, and you did. You plaster her all over social media. And I'm talking about the ones that don't go to church, but you practice hoodoo. You work your Bible. You practice voodoo. You practice Santeria. You always got something to say about the church, but now this starts with a B. Got the audacity to be out here praying and interceding and demanding the heavens to bring Donald Trump president again. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Spiritually, lady, I will fight you with everything I got. And I got some shiggity with me. I will fight you with everything that I got. There's no way on planet Earth, on this side of the equator, that I would allow what you put out in the atmosphere, in the ether, to come to pass, that is going to decimate and cause the harm to melanated people. Absolutely no, ma'am. No, ma'am. And every conjurer, every mystic, I don't care if you're not even good at magic, you should be there. At this time of juncture, they have made it very, very obvious where they stand with melanated people. And I don't know how you practice in the Africa diaspora and this doesn't alarm you. Huh? And to y'all 12% men that are out here cooning, kumbaya, y'all are the ones that Harriet Tubman would have gave a bullet to. Everybody don't need to go to the promised land. God even knew that. Some people got to die in the wilderness. Yes, I cited. Everybody can come, because they're gonna be you're gonna bring that mentality that cooning, as Auntie say on TikTok, that bootlicking. You gonna bring that bootlicking behavior into the camp, into the village, and you're gonna be teaching other young men and women how to bootlick, and we not with that. We don't mind licking over here in our kingdom, but we licking other stuff. We ain't bootlicking. You understand? Get your licking together, and get your licking right, As KFC said, finger licking good. But I'm waiting because I have a big enough following. Because I'm concerned and I'm waiting for melanated people. They say you are not no lies detected. I'm waiting. And we also have to hold our own accountable. Yeah, absolutely. What I'm saying is we don't have a problem holding our own accountable. What we have a problem with is holding the other ones accountable. That's what it is. It's not that we have a problem going off on our own. I'm in Lukumi, but I am completely excommunicated from the black church. Just some doctrine. Let me tell you something. I'm a practice. That's why I opened my church to practice all diaspora. Let me tell y'all something. There's nothing going on in any of these ATRs, Lukumi included, that is not in the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, even though those are not all the books of the Bible. That's no here nor there. The mere fact that anything that we do in Lukumi is being done in the church. It didn't Yahshua call Simon Peter Cephas, the rock, that he was going to build his church? Isn't Iligba, Eshu, they're the rock, those rocks are the building blocks. You understand? Symbolization. And you have to understand something. They have to excommunicate what they can't explain. There's a lot of people that, those are not churches, those are not ministries, those are businesses. Because people that are truly called and chosen to the divine, they're going to have the understanding of symbology, because the Bible is nothing but symbology, astrology, and spell work. That's all the Bible is. It's necromancy at its best. Because it came out of Kemet and it came out of Egyptology. That's all we have ever done is magic, no matter what we was in. But the thing about it is, when you have somebody like me that's in the church that is defending the ATRs, that are defending the practices, that are executing the practices, and then you lack the support from the very people that are being excommunicated out of the church, then why aren't you supporting those pastors or leaders that are embracing Lukumi, that are embracing voodoo, or are embracing hoodoo or Obia, because they have clarity and understanding? It can't be one-sided, because just like when somebody say no, somebody else saying yes. And guess what? President Biden kept his promise, and they still want to get rid of him. So what I'm saying, say what? So I'm married to a black woman, and I'm black. We can make a Caucasian baby. Let me explain something. You know, the educational system has immensely failed us. It is documented. We call those children albinos. We don't call them mixed, we call them albino. Black women have had albino children. Blonde hair, blue eyes. Did I say every black woman can do that? That's not what I said. That's not. As pretty as my lips is, don't put stuff in my mouth. I'm a grown man. I'm 51 years old, about to be 52. I know what I want in my mouth. And it ain't your words. If you're going to come on my platform, at the very least, be able to read, write, and be able to comprehend, and read with comprehension. Don't be slow all your life. people like y'all. When I tell y'all, I told you from the onset before I started this live, I'm a Sagittarius. If you think a Sagittarian for to walk in a situation talking about stuff they don't know what they're talking about, you are so misinformed. You are so misunderstood. You have no clue. There's no way that I would have this type of conversation with anybody that I don't have provable information. Sagittarians come with the receipts. And what I said is the truth. We will bring down Juanita Bynum, and I'm going to say it again. That's the one that go to church every Sunday and every conference and every revival that the church had. And that's the one ain't been to church in years. Will bring down and ostracize Juanita Bynum. But this Caucasian woman is out here doing what she's doing with Donald Trump and upholding white supremacy. And you got very little, if not nothing to say. And that's a problem, sir and ma'am. Because we like to ostracize and criticize one another. But when these people that you done learned up under you, that have been empowered up under you, that have been taught our magic or our spell work or our recipes up under you, now all of a sudden ain't nobody got nothing to say. Well, I'm not one of those ones. My son brought up an excellent point, and that's why I'm doing this video right now. Because it's a shame that the church world, as much as hoodoo we practice and much prayer meeting we do, ain't nobody saying nothing to Paula White. Ain't no pastor in that area, black pastor, stepping to her as a prophet and apostle and straighten that hoe. Why that hoe ain't being straightened? Like TDJ said on the platform, he said, "What about this man is holy and righteous based off your standards?" It couldn't possibly be about what you're talking about. We all know why you supporting it. But let's say it out loud. It's white supremacy. Because nothing wants to be superior than a trailer trash. When you came out the trailers, you want to be accepted about what they call the elites. And remember this about white people and white men. I don't care how rich you become. White men have no problem. Miss Paula White reminding you, you still a trailer bitch. You still trailer trash. I don't care if you got $1 million up on the east titty. You understand, Miss Paula? That flat booty of yours, I don't care how much time you get it tucked and get it plucked. White men, and you know white men are like that. If they can tell us broad James, as wealthy as he is and as skilled as he is, that he's still a nigga, they don't have no problem reminding you. For all y'all coons out there, don't worry. We want you to know that we know you coons and you bootlickers. But you gonna keep on messing with Caucasity. Caucasity gonna have you rolling down that Caucasity mountain. And we gonna sit there and we gonna watch it, and we ain't gonna come, cause you don't need blackness to come in. Cause when y'all start getting y'all ass tore up, all of a sudden now you want black people to stand up and say it loud and be proud with that foolishness. Don't call on us now. Let that white man tear that ass up. Let that white woman go ahead and put you in prison. Praise God. You are so right. We need to hold accountable no matter who they are. Exactly. I love our people, but our people's a mess. A lot of people run to the ATRs because the church hurt. Yeah, I think that, let me say something. And I want you to understand where I'm coming from before I say that fire. Always remember this. You can't hardly get love nowhere, and that's including the church. What black people don't want to acknowledge, the issues that you had, it was before you went to church. A lot of us have been wounded from home before we ever dot anybody's door. Before we left the address of our mother and father, we have already had some type of trauma. And when we get to the church, we're expecting these people, because they do that in the ATRs. They go because they get the same thing that they do in the church, where they're trying to get this mother, they're trying to get this father to be the daddy or the mother that they did not have in their household. And these people are not responsible for trying to retract what has happened in your life. They're here responsible to give you the tools in order to make yourself whole. And then you're supposed to resonate at that point as after you have been made whole. Then you start resonating and putting the energy out to draw into your life the people that are necessary. I have said this thing oftentimes, and I will say it again. Thank you for the likes and the taps. Two incomplete people make a complete mess. Before you go to the church house, before you go to the White House, before you go to the gambling house, before you go to the whole house, you were already messed up at mama's house, at daddy's house. Before you met that man, before you met that woman, because they did not prepare you for life and life skills. They did not give you life skills. They may have clothed you, they may have fed you. They have not taught you how to be your own person. And so therefore we're looking for other people. And y'all got to tell the truth that the average pastor, the average male or female, y'all ain't not gonna let us talk about what your mama did and did not do. What your daddy did and did not do. Because you're going to get defensive. So true healing can't come unless you're ready for the truth. And the average person, and I'm a Sagittarius, the average person is not interested in the truth. Not somewhat, at all. That's whether they leave the church and go to Ifa, voodoo, or whether, because them same people leave Ifa and voodoo and Santeria and Paula and all these other and come right back to the church and say it was witchcraft that made them do it. Them same people, the same people that'll leave Leroy for John and John for Tyrone, and then come back to Leroy and say that Leroy did something. And they told her, baby, when you messed up before you leave home, the church can't help you. Orishas can't help you. Lord, you got to do your work. You got to deal with your own traumas, your unresolved issues with mama and daddy, sisters, and y'all. Before you get spiritual sisters and spiritual brothers, you got biological issues with your own bloodline. You don't think that's gonna bleed into your spiritual relationships? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We just got to tell the truth. That's what make my work so hard. It's not even the magic. It ain't even breaking spell. It's just helping people renew their mind. Stop lying. What does it say about gays in the Bible? It says when there are two men laying in the bed, one will be taken away. That's what it say. Don't come on my platform acting like you concerned about gays. Half of these people, let me tell y'all something about sexual orientation. And I want to say this loud and proud. If a woman want to have sex with you, she don't care if you slept with a man. The only time that the average woman care about if you slept with a man or not is when other people know you don't slept with a man. Other than that, she don't care. When a woman wants to be with somebody, she's going to be with him. And vice versa. The church do not care about gays. The church don't care about blacks. We are the church. And when we have our personal preferences, and a lot of the stuff that y'all already know that a lot of these translations were incorrect and they were done deliberately. Let me tell you like this. If you study archaeology, I'm going to say that again. If you study archaeology, men have been sleeping with men for millions of years. Christianity only 200 some years old. Let me tell you something even further. The first homosexual act that ever committed on earth was done by women, because women were the first creatures on planet Earth and they were sleeping with each other. They had their own parts. Study your history. And guess what? The divine was working through them. Then there were still oracles. They might have been out there licking to the other parts of the earth and the center of the earth. But they still was out there doing readings and conjure. Sexual preference or sexual orientation has nothing to do with your spirituality. Zero. The oldest religion whether it's an Ifa or voodoo, they never cared. All of the gods, they were sleeping with men and women. We procreate with the opposite sex, but we have sex who we want to have sex with. So if you want the real truth, history will prove that men and women have been same-sexing for millions of years before there was even any hearing of a Christianity. Ain't nothing new up under the sun. Now, if you get involved with people that have certain preferences, that's a whole nother thing. Yes, they had her trending. You are the first one I heard talk about it. People want to turn the volume up on this. I think I got it up. Yeah, it's already up. Yeah, they just want to know what I'm saying. Average person they have a conversation with me, you ain't trying to hear no truth. You ain't trying to hear it. But I give it to you. I said that about Paula White when she benefited from the black church and Trump had been paying her for, yeah. But it need to be said by black preachers though. I'm talking about all over the globe. All our hoodoo workers and voodoo workers, not just y'all. We on this platform talk about the church. And if it was one of our black pastors, we got it all over black TikTok. But now Paula White roast her ass. Just like you roast and make jokes out of black people when they do stuff. Have the same energy. That's all I'm saying. Let me see the same energy. Yep, they changed some verses. Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't work because I just like I come on my platform. The question becomes whose history, European history, Asian history, or black history. Without black people, there is no history, baby. Madam Chair, without black history, there is no history of anybody. The only reason why other people have an Asian history, a Jewish history, a Puerto Rican history is because of black history. Everybody that sits around here talking about what happened, if it wasn't for black people and their inventions, they would have no history. They would have no foundation. The average Caucasian person, even to this day, don't wash their ass. But we taught them how to clean and wash their ass, but they don't do it. Talking about they bathe every 2 days or every once a week and all that. You strike me as a very intelligent person and worth listening to again. Thank you so much, Madam Chair. But I want to say that to you, Madam Chair. Remember this, we are in our knowledge and in our education and the things that we do, you cannot get around the Alpha and the Omega. You can't get around that. We are the beginning of all things and we will be the end of all things. The last shall be first and the first shall be last. Those are facts. Those are not my opinions. Those are not my suggestion. Ain't none of that. And whether I'm here or not, the truth gonna stand all by itself. That's why I like to study to show myself approved. Black people don't like to put the work in. They just want to come out with an attitude and be talking about black people created this. You don't even know half of the people that invented stuff. And white people don't care nothing about that. Anytime somebody steal from you, you think they care about they stole it? And long as you ain't stole it back. I remember I had a young man staying in my house and he went under my bed and stole my porn. And went in and put it in the other room. I went right there and stole my porn back. I sure did. As a pastor and a preacher and an apostle, I stole my porn back. Yes, I did. Praise God. And I ain't said nothing. Y'all right. You stole from me. I'm going to steal my stuff back. You ain't finna give it to me. A thief ain't finna just walk up and say, you know what, I took this from you. I'm stealing my stuff. The only thing you don't do what OJ do. OJ went to steal his stuff back. Don't go with him. That's all I'm saying, y'all. I got to go get something to eat. I hope that this helped us, and I hope that other black conjurers and mystics and AJs and stuff on TikTok will start talking about Paula White and why that is just atrocious what she's doing. It's demeaning to black people and black culture and every black man and woman that took out the time to impart or teach her anything. What makes a thief is getting caught. Now, in that case, by your standard saying what makes a thief is getting caught, no, that's just like saying you ain't a hoe because you ain't get pregnant. You gonna have many weenies in your life and never get pregnant. That you just as much hoe as the one that having baby from every dingling she done had. Let's not be silly now. Let's not be silly. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I'm gonna see y'all tonight on my YouTube account. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube account, it's right up in my bio. If you want to follow Chief Apostle Samuel Jr., where the real is, where I tell it like a TI is. We talk about black issues, real black issues. We don't sugarcoat. It is what it is, and you can take it for everyone. I ain't here to change nobody's mind, but I am here to tell the truth, and you can resonate with it, utilize it, make your life better, or you can sit there and remain the same. That's your business, because it don't bother me, because I'm going to live my life. Yes, I am. All right. Love y'all, and I'll see you on my YouTube account tonight.